Hello, and thank you for joining us today in our study of the book of Psalms. Today we are in Psalm 62. And as we examine this psalm, you have a psalm of David that is once again going to deal with those who bring attacks against him, but these are going to be a little bit of a different sort as far as the way that it's communicated. But also David's emphasis on the psalm. It's not so much on those who are attacking him, but on his heart toward God as he seeks God's help. So let's look at Psalm 62. Beginning in verse 1, we read, Truly my soul silently waits for God. From him comes my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. How long will you attack a man? You shall be slain, all of you, like a leaning wall and a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his high position. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. My soul, wait silently for God alone, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In God is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Surely men of low degree are a vapor. Men of high degree are a lie. If they are weighed on the scales, they are altogether lighter than vapor. Do not trust in oppression, nor vainly hope in robbery. If riches increase, do not set your heart on them. God has spoken once. Twice I have heard this, that power belongs to God. Also to you, O Lord, belongs mercy, for you render to each one according to his work. There are a lot of things that we could spend time talking about out of this particular psalm, because there are many nuggets in here that help us to focus on what is truly important in the midst of the problems of our lives. But let's pull out just a couple of things that David talks about in the psalm. First of all, we see the emphasis that he places on the attacks of men. He says in verse 2, or verse 3 rather, How long will you attack a man? You shall be slain, all of you, like a leaning wall and a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his high position. David here, writing as a king, is going to talk about those who just seek to get him out of his position. The only thing they have against him is the fact that he's the king. And therefore, they want the power and the authority that he has. And so, what they do is they delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. This is the person who is the one who smilingly tells you how good you look on one side, and then, as soon as you leave, speaks bad of you on the other. This is the person who is two-faced. You go down to the end of the psalm, and he talks about the men of low degree and the men of high degree. It doesn't matter whether they're powerful or not powerful, rich or poor. When you weigh them all together, the value of them, the purpose of them, and where they stand in relation to God, they all weigh out the same. They all weigh out like a vapor, because next to God, they have no power at all. He also talks about at the end of the psalm, do not trust in oppression. Do not vainly hope in robbery. If riches increase, do not set your heart on them. There are many people who have the attitude that says, if I can just have what this person has, or if I can just have the position that this person has, then I will be successful. Everything will be okay, and I will have everything that I want. But once they get it, they realize it wasn't all it was cracked up to be, or it's still not as satisfying as they thought it would be, and they realize they want more. And so you have the attacks of men. Many attacks come simply because of the position that somebody else holds, and that person wants it. And there are often occasions where they will go through all kinds of lies and deceit and underhanded actions to get what they want. The second thing I want us to notice from this psalm is the way that David approaches God in it. Because he talks about the importance of trusting and waiting. He says in verse 5, "My soul, wait silently for God alone." In other words, be patient. Recognize that not everything is going to happen all at once, and not every response is going to come in the immediate moment in which it's requested. Wait silently for God. For my expectation, he says, is from him. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. And then he goes on to say in verse 8, "Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us." David is going to place his trust in God because remember, God is the one who put him in that position. God is the one who has sustained him in that position. And David trusts that God will continue to do so. When we are dealing with troubles and with difficulties, when we are dealing with those who are attacking us, remember who it is that stands beside us. Remember who it is we serve and who has said he will watch out for us. Sometimes things may not always go exactly the way we want them to, or exactly the way that we had planned. But you know, it doesn't mean that God wasn't watching out for us. Sometimes a loss in one area is the opening of an even better door or an even greater door or a door of great importance in another area. Recognize that we need to wait silently, that we need to be patient, and we need to trust God. These are the things that I notice in Psalm 62, and there's a lot more that we could spend time talking about from this psalm. But I hope these things have been beneficial to you. Next time we'll come back and we will begin looking at Psalm 63. I hope you'll join us then, and thank you for viewing the video today. But until next time, have a great day.